The Selfish Giant's Garden. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village, there lived a giant who had a magnificent garden. This giant was not like the others in the village. He was very tall and fierce-looking, and he liked his solitude. He had a beautiful garden that was surrounded by a high wall. The garden was full of colorful flowers, lush green grass, and a variety of fruit trees that bore delicious fruits all year round. However, the giant was very selfish. He didn't want anyone else to enjoy the beauty of his garden. He had put up a sign on the garden gate that said, "Trespassers will be punished." The villagers, especially the children, would often pass by the wall and wish they could play in that wonderful garden. But the giant's stern warning kept them away. One day, something magical happened. Winter turned into spring, and with the arrival of spring, the garden bloomed even more beautifully. The flowers seemed to dance in the gentle breeze, and the trees were heavy with ripe fruits. The birds sang joyfully, creating a symphony of melodies that filled the air. One morning, the giant heard the sweet sounds of laughter coming from his garden. He peered out of his window in surprise and saw that a group of children had somehow managed to sneak inside. They were playing, laughing, and basking in the garden's splendor. The giant's face turned red with anger. He stomped outside and chased the children away, shouting at them to never come back. As the children left, the garden suddenly lost its enchanting aura. The flowers drooped, the birds stopped singing, and the trees shed their blossoms. The giant realized that his selfishness had caused the magic to disappear. He felt a pang of sadness deep within his heart. Days turned into weeks, and the giant's garden remained barren. The giant started to feel lonely. He missed the laughter of the children and the beauty that their presence brought to the garden. He realized that he had been wrong to keep the garden all to himself. One day, while the giant was sitting alone in his cold and desolate garden, he heard a familiar sound. It was the melodious song of a little bird. He looked up and saw a small bird perched on a branch. The bird looked sad and tired. The giant's heart softened, and he extended his hand toward the bird. The bird hopped onto his hand and nuzzled against him. The giant's heart swelled with warmth, and as he held the bird, the garden started to come back to life. Flowers began to bloom, and the trees started to grow their leaves and blossoms. The giant understood that by showing kindness and sharing, he could bring happiness back to his garden. From that day on, the giant opened the gates of his garden to all the children in the village. The children played and laughed, and the garden flourished with life and color. The giant had learned that true happiness came from sharing and caring for others, not from keeping things for oneself. And so, the once selfish giant transformed into a kind and gentle one. His garden became a place of joy for everyone, and the spirit of sharing and friendship spread throughout the village, creating a bond that lasted forever. And they all lived happily ever after, in a garden where love and kindness bloomed just like the flowers.